Bat1 here along with Charmander in the background as always, coming at you with, well, my top 5 cards that you should be picking up in Lightning Overdrive. And if you're wondering, yes, the whole set has been leaked. I personally think it's pretty bad. Set pick up here to show you the cards that are basically in it. But yeah, I thought, seeing as we got the whole set release, and I was like, oh, seeing as this is all released now, it was leaked on Facebook, the Yu-Gi-Oh database hasn't updated, I'll give it a look up and see how it is. And personally, looking for it, I don't think the set is good. There is a couple of things in there, such as the Amazement deck, which is pretty cool. You've got the new staple cards in it, like the Book of Lunar Eclipse. You've got the Diviner, the new Drytron cards. You've got like some new Pendulum exclusive cards, like the new Pendulum Xyz monster. That's pretty cool. But personally, I don't see this set as really good. I personally feel like Blazing Vortex was better because you had like Underworld Goddess and you also had Pot of Prosperity, just really, really good cards. And this set to me just isn't that good. And because of that, I'm just like, there isn't a lot of good cards in here, but there are some actual pretty decent cards in here that you should still be picking up if you are buying Lightning Overdrive, or you see someone buying it and you see a card in there in this video that you're like, oh crap, I actually need that card because that card's actually pretty decent. So today's Yu-Gi-Oh video is we're going to be talking about the top 5 best cards in Lightning Overdrive. As I said, I don't think the set is that great, but there are 5 cards that I personally feel like you should be picking up because they are really decent cards. They do have some really good uses, and I think everybody will want them to an extent just because either they're going to be used in a deck, they're going to be decent for your deck, or they're just generically good cards that you might want to pick up. So guys, let's get into it, talking about the top 5 cards coming out in Lightning Overdrive. So at number 5, the 5th best card in this set that I feel like everybody should kind of be trying to pick up, seeing as I said, the set's not that great. But the 5th card that I personally think that everybody should be trying to pick up in this set is Dark Honest. Now, obviously, throughout the years, Honest has only had a light version, and finally, we've got the dark version of Honest. And personally, I feel like this is a pretty good retrain of Honest, specifically for dark decks, seeing as this card is actually pretty decent when you really think about it. Now, Dark Honest is a level 4 monster that has the same effect as Honest, that can return itself from the field to the hand during the main phase by activating its effect. But the reason why I feel like this card is so good for like dark decks out there and everything along those lines, one, because, well, it's a Dark Honest. Honest in general has been good throughout the years. It's not really been used in the current Yu-Gi-Oh formats, but a Dark Honest for dark decks, that's pretty good, and for a couple of reasons, because this Honest is actually very different to the original Honest. This Honest effect is, instead of increasing your monster's attack, it actually decreases your opponent's monster's attack by that monster's own attack. So if you're attacking with like an 800 attack point monster, say for instance in Burning Abyss you attack with a Scum, well, that monster attacks the opponent's monster, you drop the Dark Honest, and their monster is the one that will lose all of its attack points. Its attack points will go to 0, and the monster just dies. So personally, I feel like Dark Honest is actually a pretty good card to be picking up. I don't think it's going to be anything too expensive because obviously it's an Honest. Honest isn't the best card in the game right now, and it's not something that's going to be completely over the top and completely broken, but I feel like Dark Honest is just a pretty decent pickup to have, and definitely something you should be picking up. And if you're thinking about what price range this may stand at, I feel like it could end up maybe like around 10 to 15 quid, because like, as I said, it's an Honest. Honest isn't the best card, but I feel like it's a card that people should get just because, well, it's an Honest. Honest has shown relevance in the past, and this being just to make your opponent lose all their attack points is pretty decent. So at number 5, I think Dark Honest is something that people should definitely be picking up, but that's only at number 5. It is technically the card that I think is the worst card that you can get out of these 5, because the others I just think are better in a lot of different strategies. But let's go ahead and go on to number 4 so we can talk about that. So guys, at number 4 we have Lyn the Light Charmer Shining, and honestly, when I saw this card, I did not expect Konami to ever print this card, because honestly, a light Charmer Link monster that says I can summon my opponent's monsters from their graveyard, that are light, one of the most predominant attributes in the game, and also when it's destroyed I get to add any light monster with 1500 or less defense from my deck to my hand, while also being super generic, just being one light monster and any other monster in the game. I did not think Konami would print this. Like, thinking Konami would print something like this is absolutely insane to me, because there are so many decks that can actually be used against. So just off the top of my head, 2 decks right now: Drytron, their Light Fairy hand traps, instant revival right there. Any ritual monster that is a light, just instant revival right there as long as they've correctly summoned it. Against another deck, Elder Lich, oh, I'm just going to steal any of your Elder Lich monsters. Oh, you've got Dogmatica cards in there, I'm going to steal your Dogmatica cards. This card is really insane just for the fact that it revives any light monster in the opponent's graveyard, but just having that additional search effect and just being a light Charmer Link monster is absolutely insane, guys. So this is just a really strong card, definitely a card that I think you should be picking up, because even down the line, I can see this card going up just for the fact that at release it'll probably be like a £2 super, maybe at most, but later on down the line I could see this card easily being about £8, you know, so maybe pick this up in bulk. But this is just an insane card in Lightning Overdrive that I honestly think everybody should be picking up. It's going to be a super rare and most likely a Starlight rare. Every Charmer is a Starlight rare. It's just going to happen. It will most likely happen again, but insane card, definitely a card that I think everybody should be picking up. And Dark Charmer most likely coming soon as well, seeing as they made the light, we're only missing the dark. So yeah, absolutely insane, guys. But that's number 4. Let's go ahead and move on to number 3. So guys, at number 3 I have Drytron Moo Beta, and honestly this Fafnir Xyz monster is busted. This card has 3 really powerful effects. I personally feel it's going to be one of the best cards in the set because of this, and pretty much fixes all the problems that Drytron had after the ban list. So Moo Beta literally just says, oh, I'm now here, I fix all of Drytron problems. Can we put Drytron back in the meta now? Probably, because this card is actually really, really insane. So let's talk about what this card pretty much does. Well, first of all, it's a generic rank 1 that takes 2+ monsters. So you can put like 5 Drytrons on this thing, no problem, slap them on the board, make this, and then go into its effects. But what are its effects? Well, first of all, if you activate Drytron Meteorosis and there's Drytrons on it, you can send those Drytrons to the graveyard, because its first effect says if you attribute monsters for a ritual summon, you can detach the appropriate materials from this card. So tribute 2 Drytron materials on it, and then just go ahead and summon any ritual monster in the game, because that's 4k attack. Pretty good right there. Second effect, if you XC summon this card, you can send any Drytron card from your deck to the graveyard. So you can send Alpha, which will allow you to get to any ritual monster, Zeta to get you to any ritual spell, or literally Drytron Meteorosis if you just feel like that, to go ahead and decrease this monster's attack by 1,000 and add it to your hand. So access into the entire deck, which is just absolutely insane. Literally, this card gives you that access, and Union Carrier did the same thing, and giving us this card basically says, oh, well, you lost Union Carrier, but now you can have this that says we do the exact same thing, and much easier now, because it just literally takes 2 Drytrons, because you can literally go ahead and summon Gamma, and then summon the Drytron you tributed off the Gamma to go ahead and make this, to have access into your entire deck. So insane card there. And last effect is literally when your opponent activates a spell or trap effect while you control a machine ritual monster, both Drytron ritual monsters are machine ritual monsters, you can go ahead and detach 1 AC material from this card and negate the activation of that spell/trap. So not only is it a Lavalval chain for every Drytron card in the game, not only does it allow you to use materials on it to ritual summon, but it also has an inbuilt negation effect while you control a Drytron ritual monster, well, a machine ritual monster on the board. That's absolutely insane, and is definitely going to be one of the best cards in Lightning Overdrive because of it, because literally having the ability to go ahead and negate spell and trap cards, going to be able to send any Drytron card to your graveyard to have access into your entire deck, having the ability to just detach the materials for your ritual summons, that is absolutely bonkers and absolutely insane, and it really does fix every problem in the Drytron deck. So this card is just great. It's definitely going to be an insane card. Depending on the rarity, this card could easily be 15 to 30 pounds if it's an ultra rare or higher, like probably even maybe 40 if it's a secret, like 40 plus, because you're going to be needing at least 2 of it in Drytron, I would say at least. So absolutely insane card, definitely the 3rd best card in the set because of it. And honestly, there's nothing else I can say about it, because it's just a really, really insane card that really just gives Drytron back everything they lost. So yeah, Drytron Moo Beta, 3rd best card in the set. Let's go ahead and talk about number 2. So at number 2, guys, I have Book of Lunar Eclipse. Now, I don't think it should really come as a surprise to anyone why Book of Lunar Eclipse is on here. Like, Lightning Overdrive isn't the best set out there, but it does have a couple of good cards, and this is just one of them. And personally, I think it's the 2nd best card in the set. Like, pretty much what Book of Lunar Eclipse is just a twin twister version of Book of Moon, where you discard 1 card, target 2 face-up monsters your opponent controls, and change them to face-down defense position. Now, obviously, this isn't the most insane effect. This isn't isn't the best effect in the game, but this card does have a lot of uses. Just like Book of Moon, you can go ahead and set it during your turn and use it during your opponent's turn, being able to just set your opponent's problem cards. Say they've got 2 level 4 monsters they want to go into an Xyz monster with, they've got 2 monsters that they want to make a Link 2 with, or they've got 2 monsters that they want to turn into a synchro summon. This card basically comes out and says, oh, pretty good card, now we go ahead and do this and stop your opponent from having those sorts of effects. Now, obviously it does have its downsides, where the fact that it has to target 2 cards, unlike Twin Twister that only has to target up to 2 cards, but nonetheless, I feel like this is just a really good card to pick up. It's a really good staple card to have that can be just used in hundreds of different decks out there. Like, you could want to play Book of Moon more and not want to spend money on this card, because I know it's a secret rare, and just from that fact alone, I know it's going to be like 40 to 50 plus pounds, but it's still a really good card, a really good staple card, and it's definitely the second best card in the set, just for the fact that it's pretty much just says, oh, 2 monsters on the board, that means you need to play the game with those 2 monsters. Well, I set them and you stop. Do it against a Dragon Link player. If you set their 2 monsters where those 2 link arrows are, they ain't able to play the game. So yeah, Book of Lunar Eclipse, just a pretty decent card. Definitely the second best card in my opinion, just because the range that it can be used in, the amount of different decks it can be used in. So Book of Lunar Eclipse, definitely the second best card in this set. But let's go ahead and talk about the best card in this set, because, well, obviously it's going to trounce the rest of these cards because it's the best card in the set. So let's go on to number 1. So guys, on number 1, the definitive best card in the entire set of Lightning Overdrive is Diviner of the Heralds. Now, I don't think I need to explain why this is the best card. This card is insane for a lot of different reasons, but we're going to explain it anyway. So, Diviner of the Herald is a level 2 light fairy tuner effect monster. But that's not why it's busted. It's a part of it because it's a tuner, but that's not why it's busted. It's busted because of its effect, which is, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can send 1 fairy monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. And if you do, increase the select card's level by the level of the sent monster. So what that means is, you're going to send your Herald of Arclight from your extra deck to the graveyard, search any ritual monster in the game, turn this into a level 6, and then tribute it for its second effect, which says, if this card is tributed, you can special summon 1 level 2 or lower fairy monster from your deck or hand. And literally just free special summon. So not only does it say I'm going to send Herald of the Arclight to the graveyard to get free advantage, but it also says, oh, I'm going to go ahead and be tributed for a ritual summon, which is definitely going to happen, I might add, and go ahead and special summon my Eva from my deck, which is going to then go to the graveyard, and then the Eva is going to search me 2 more fairies from my deck, which are going to be a Herald of Orange Light and any other fairy monster of level 2 or lower to discard for that Herald of Orange Light. Now, you're probably thinking right now, that was an awful lot to say for 1 card, but Diviner of the Herald does all of that for every ritual deck in the game, be it Necros, be it Drytron, be it any deck that would play Diviner of the Herald that's a ritual deck, Megaliths, like, it's gonna break those decks, and Diviner of the Heralds is just absolutely insane because of that. Having the ability to search not only in any ritual card from the deck, just by sending a Herald of Arclight, but augmenting your level to become a level 6, that would allow you to summon like a Cyber Angel Ben 10, or give you the ability to summon any other ritual monster that's level 6 or lower, is really insane. And if you really wanted that higher level as well, you can go ahead and send the Ben 10 from the deck to the graveyard to make it level 8, to go ahead and summon a level 8 ritual monster too. So the advantages of this card are absolutely insane, being just a free searcher for any ritual monster in the game by sending Herald of Arclight, and also being a free summon from the deck just to search Eva, which is going to then be destroyed or sent to the graveyard via an effect, to go, or any other means really, to go ahead and then search 2 fairies from your deck. It's like, you can't really say this is going to be a bad card, because what this card does is absolutely insane. So Diviner of the Herald is number 1. I really cannot justify it more than that. It makes every ritual deck out there a lot stronger and a lot better. So Diviner of the Herald are number 1, guys. I really can't say anything more about it, because it's really just the best card in the set, because it says, oh, every ritual deck in the game is now boosted, especially Drytron, because now they get to another way to search Ben 10, which is something they actually really needed after losing like their, well, 2 Ben 10s and their Union carriers. Like, it really did need that, and now it's got it back. But guys, that is literally all I have to say in this video though. Do you think I've missed a few cards in this on this list? Do you think there are cards that are better than some of the ones that I listed? Like, the Amazements could have made it on this list. I just personally feel like these cards are better than the whole Amazement deck. You could have also put some of the TCG exclusive cards that are on there, like the Pendulum Xyz monster that was just released, that literally says gains effects plus the amount of extra monsters you have more than your opponent. But I personally feel like these are the cards that are the best cards in the set for a lot of different reasons. They're generic, they boost decks, they have different strategies and really do make other decks more powerful. But nonetheless, guys, this is just my thoughts and opinions. Tell me your thoughts and opinions in the description below. So I hope you enjoyed, and really do give me your opinions, because, well, I personally feel like this set is trash, and these are the cards that I just literally went through for, okay, these are the best cards in the set in my opinion. So let's go ahead and talk about them and see if anyone has anything else to say. But guys, that is just my thoughts and opinions. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and yes, he has been asleep in the background. I can't get rid of him, but thanks so much for watching nonetheless. Robot1 signing out, and thank you all so much for watching. I need to get out those Book of Eclipses. Later.